Hey, I think we're live. Oh my gosh. Facebook, you're working well today. Woo, woo, woo. Okay, if you're joining me live, do say hi. I'm just setting up. I will be with you very shortly. Hey, how we doing, guys? Whoa. Okay, so hi Asha, hi Leo, hi Wolf, hi Oliver and Ava. Morning, guys. We've got something to start thinking about. If you would like to, you can like literally just point at the screen. Where is the midpoint of that line? If you've got the printout, I think I put it in there as well, so you could just put a cross on it if you want to. But there's no need. You can just do it on straight onto the screen. You can talk about it. Whatever suits you. Whatever suits you. Hi Jacob. Hi Ali. Hi Sophia. Morning, guys. Morning. I. That's it, Jacob. I like that. I do that when I'm like sing. Okay. I'm gonna let people. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Okay, guys, I don't know what's going on with Facebook. I haven't stopped at any point. Nothing's happening my end, so I don't know why it keeps pausing or what's going on. My end is saying everything's fine and that everything should be working, which is so annoying. Oh well, right. I'm just gonna have to work through it. I'm gonna go through it unless something happens this end where it becomes obvious that it's not working. I'm just gonna go for it. So anyway, let's try that again. Good morning, Matt's Mob! Woo! How you doing, guys? Yay, it's working! Yeah, so yeah, if it pauses, maybe go off and on again. That couldn't, like, it's very technical, isn't it? But even when I worked in school, so huge IT departments to help you with, like, computers and stuff, and their first piece of advice was always, have you turned it off and on again? Every single time. Good morning. If you haven't been here before, I am Ruth. I am a home educated mum. I was a head of maths in a secondary school for a long time, and I stopped doing that in order to home educate my kids, and now I'm using my maths knowledge coupled with my de-schooling and my learning about learning in a more enjoyable and natural way with my own children to bring you home educating maths lessons that are wildly different to school lessons. So these ones are my all ages maths lessons. We always pick a topic. You guys suggest the topic. We do a little vote on it, and then we go with that topic for a term. We're doing maths in art, which only just beat maths in dinosaurs to the post. So next half term, we're going to do maths in dinosaurs. So that'll be after the summer. Oh, yay, we've got a load of new people. Come on. Morning, Karen, Molly. Maths day, maths day, maths day. It's okay, Molly. Apparently being late is good because you've missed all the glitches. There was a load of glitchy things going on. Hi, Dexy. Maths Mob. Woo. Hi, Helen. Hi, guys. Morning, Luna. Yeah, awesome. Right, we're here. We're ready to go. So, we're going to do this. These lessons are designed so you absolutely can join in a written way if you want to, but you absolutely don't have to. It's all about thinking mathematically, seeing maths in things that you enjoy and your life around you. We are looking today at optical illusions and impossible objects. So we're going to talk a little bit about those, where they are in art. I'm totally inspired by Dali. If you've ever seen any of his paintings, you get some really cool ones. He was inspired by dreams and things like that. So yeah, really cool. Have a little search of him if you haven't seen some of his stuff. But yeah, that's where I got the inspiration from for this lesson, and hopefully by the end of this lesson you'll be able to do one or two draw of your own optical illusions. We'll see how it goes and how long these things take, because when I've not done live on it before, it's all a bit like playing and seeing what happens. Oh, hi, Verity. Oh, hi, Albert. Ah, joining for the first time. How exciting. Oh, we've got Kylie. Oh, no, Kylie. Yeah, no, I'm saying that right. Kylie, too. Awesome. Oh, and some mooses. Very cool. Awesome, guys. Right, so let's get started. What are we doing? Okay, so I'll show you this. So I can't find any, like, actual artists that I was allowed to share with you. But what do you notice? I'm going to come back to the thinking bit. I'm going to come back to the little start thinking question. What do you notice about this? Hi, Ben and Nye. Oh, you're joining for the first time too. Awesome. Good day to be joining. What do we notice about this picture? Oh, some people sending the wrong emojis. That's okay. I can forgive you. What do you notice about this picture? Does anyone spot anything about this picture? I'll give you a little time to think about it. A little bit of time to think about what's going on here. Where's that guy gonna go? The top is also the bottom. Yeah, the top is also the bottom. My brain isn't braining anymore. It's crazy. What? Yeah, look what's gonna get. Like this dude, he's just stood, casually minding his own business, looking at the clouds. He could walk down these stairs, couldn't he? And then walk forwards and walk along. And weirdly, if he walks along, he's gonna end up back where he was before, but he's not gone back up any stairs. He's not gone up again. It's crazy. It is. It's so. This is a good example of how, when you're drawing and doing art, you can create pictures that look realistic but are actually impossible. So they're like impossible objects. They couldn't possibly exist in real life. If we tried to build that, we couldn't actually build it. It's not possible to build. And there's some really, really cool examples of that. I'm going to show you at least one, if not two today. So yeah, we can create these. It's like an illusion, isn't it? It's an optical illusion. Your brain so your eyes are seeing something and your brain is saying, oh yeah, that makes sense. But then when you actually think about it, it doesn't make any sense at all. So there's really, really famous artists. I've got one here, another one. I've got another one here for you to look at. Have a look at this one. Can you see this one? I've just here. This picture. Have a look at that one. See what you think of that. Because I like, it took me a while. It took me a while with this one. So very famous artists like Salvador Dali and MC Escher. I think I'm saying that right this week. I think I said it wrong last week. Use them in their work quite a lot, which is quite cool. Yeah, bro stuck there forever. Yeah, what about this one? I found this one, because this, like, for ages I was looking at this. I got this from Canva, and Canva was like, yeah, this is an impossible object. I was like, no, it's not. That's totally possible. And then I started thinking about creating it and was like, whoa, I can't create that. I cannot create that. The lessons tend to be around 45 minutes long. They take about 45 minutes. So yeah, look at this one. It's going backwards and then it comes down. But then this piece here suggests that we've not gone backwards at all, because there's a piece that's joining the two. So you've got a piece joining the uppy bit and the backwards bit, but it's suggesting we haven't gone backwards at all. So again, totally impossible. But because they've made it look like blocks, haven't they? So they've made it look like it totally is possible. Okay, so we started with this as something to think about. I said, where's the midpoint of this line? Oh, you reckon you can create that? Go on then, Jacob, do it for me. Do it, create it. Prove me wrong. I love being proved wrong. It's actually like one of my favourite things ever. Please, please, please do it. Where is the midpoint of this line? Where is the midpoint? So somebody, I can't remember who now, said that the midpoint of the line was on this point here, on this middle arrow. Do we agree? What do you reckon? Do we agree? Is the midpoint of that line on this arrow right in the middle here? The middle bit. The middle bit. It's an illusion. It's an illusion. Yeah, so people are saying the middle bit. Well, your brain, see, like, it is actually the middle bit. It is the middle bit. And it often people, I can show you with a ruler actually, I can measure from that middle bit to the end is 17 centimetres. And from that middle bit to the end on the other side is 17 centimetres. So it's exactly the same. Look, we can see here and here. They are exactly the same. But to most brains, this side looks longer than this side. And that's because our brains are actually not just looking at this section here. We're not able to compartmentalize exactly what we're looking at. We're seeing like the extension of it with the arrows as well. So the arrows are making our brains sort of extend what we're seeing and making the assumption that the line is longer because of that. But then when we look at the other side of the line where the arrows are like bringing our eyesight inwards a little bit, it's like reducing the length of the line to our brain. But it's not happening. That's not happening. What's happening is our eyes are taking in the whole picture, and therefore our brain takes in the whole picture rather than just the little section that we wanted to, which was that line, looking at that line. So I'll show you here. Look, it helps a little bit, I think, this, when you colour the two sections in. So can you see that blue bit? I show you with my fingers, is the same length as the red bit. So both of them are just a little bit longer than my fingers. Can I do it with my finger and my thumb? Let me see, with this hand maybe. Look, there we go. And I'm going to keep them at the same width and put them this side. Exactly the same as each other. But it's these bits. These are drawing our attention inward towards the inside of the line. And these ones are drawing our attention outwards, away from the line. Which is cool, isn't it? I think it's pretty cool. I think it is pretty special. So the midpoint of the line is right in the middle. So this is called, it's an adaptation. It's called the Brentano modification of the Müller-Lyer. Is it Müller-Lyer? I wish I'd practiced pronouncing that beforehand. Optical illusion. So yeah, this guy Müller created a very similar optical illusion. They had it sort of lined on top of each other, and Brentano modified it to look like this. So I stole that from those guys, but it's fairly famous. Like, lots of people use it. So optical illusions often come up in art, and I wanted to show you a couple of them. One of my favourite, I like doing this quite a lot, but I couldn't work out a simple way to explain this one to you online. But look it up if you would like to do it yourself. There's the Penrose triangle. So this is the Penrose triangle. Have a little look at that here, and then there's one here as well. This hasn't got a special name. Optical illusions in art, they rely on things like colour, perspective and geometry. So it's all actually very mathematical stuff that they rely on. So if we have a look at these, is there anything you can spot that's happening here that's creating the optical illusion, that's making it look, well, what's going on? What does it look like? But then in reality, what's actually going on as well? In reality, what's going on too? So you might notice on this first one, it does look a bit like a 3D triangle, doesn't it? But we've used perspective to change the 3D triangle. So brought sections of it in front. So you can see this bit's been brought in front. But then this bit that's gone behind up here then goes behind something else that is in front that has also gone behind. And this bit is in front and then it goes behind. So every single section of it is both in front of something and behind something. So they've used perspective to muddle that one up. Oh no, is it doing funny things again? Facebook, come on, work with me. And then here we've got, it looks like there's a 3D object popping out of here, but there's not. It's a two-dimensional drawing. And the 3D object, if we look, zoom right in, what you've got is you've got squares on all the flat bits, and then they've started to curve. So they've used curves on these bits to make it look like it's popping out. They've changed the size of them and used curved lines to make it look like there's a ball popping out of the middle of it. So it's all about that playing with geometry and straight lines and curved lines and perspective. I really like this one. I really like this one because it's so simple. It's so simple. What's going on here? What does it look like is happening here? And what is actually going on here? So what does it look like is happening here? And what is actually going on here? Oh man, do keep reloading if there's issues with Facebook. I'm really sorry, guys. What does it look like is happening here? But what is actually happening here? So if we look at these grey lines, what does it look like is going on? Yeah, the grey lines are straight lines. The grey lines they're not just straight lines. There's something super special about these grey lines. They're not just straight lines. Every single one of these grey lines is exactly the same width between them, and they are parallel to each other, like train tracks. Does it look like that? What? Whoa. Yeah, it's to do with the positioning of them, isn't it? Like, if I do this, you can see, are the grey lines? Yeah, they're actually in line with each other. So the grey lines are exactly in line with each other. So they start at the same point, they end at the same point, they are totally parallel. So every single one of them is parallel. So what is it that's making our eyes make it look like they are not? Yeah, the squares. The squares are making it look like they're sloped. It reminds me of Donkey Kong. Yeah, so the black and white is part of it as well. The huge contrast between the black and the white is a huge part of this. But it's also to do with the placing of these squares. Can you see how they've been curved? If you look at them, they actually mimic each other. And they've been curved in a particular way that makes it look, it changes our perception of it. Because our brain wants it, when things are lined up, for everything to line up perfectly. And frustratingly, what happens with these optical illusions is that once you see something, so straight away when you look at this, and it looks like the grey lines are all slanted at different angles, even though I've now shown you they're not, they're parallel to each other. Once your brain has seen it, you can't unsee it. And that's how optical illusions work. Once you have seen the optical illusion, you can't unsee it again. So your brain sort of fixates on what it saw, the optical illusion, even when logic and reason shows you that it's just not true, which is, I think, pretty cool. Now, you'll have done this with theatre of science, but I just love it so much that I just think it's really cool. Have you done this before, where you've made a hole in your hand? Like, I asked you to bring the inside of a toilet roll, because I just think this is really cool. So if you put your hand up in front of your face, and you stare at a single point, and then you bring the toilet, no, start other way around. Let's start the other way around. No, let me think about this. Put the toilet roll just over one eye, but you keep both eyes open. This doesn't work if you close one of your eyes. So you put the toilet roll over one of your eyes, and then you're going to, and stare at single points. So I'm staring at the camera. I'm staring at the camera now. And then bring your hand in to the side of the toilet roll, and it looks like there's a hole in your hand. Like, to me, it looks like I'm looking through my hand to the camera right now, which I think is absolutely insane. And again, that it works on the same, it's to do with your eyes seeing different distances to the same point, essentially. But again, because your brain has seen that, your brain doesn't make sense of it in that way. Your brain doesn't go, oh, that eye is a different distance from that point to that one. Your brain goes, oh, there's a hole in my hand. And that is exactly how optical illusions in art work as well. So you stare at one single point, put the toilet roll over it, and then bring your hand in. When I've done this with my kids, we've had to do it quite slowly. If they bring it in fast, it's almost like their brain can't catch up. I think once you've seen it, again though, I found the first few times this didn't happen, and then once it did happen and I saw the hole in my hand, then my brain does it really quickly now. My brain really, really quickly does that. But it could take a little bit of time to get to that point. Okay, we're going to create our own optical illusion. Now, if you've got the workbook, I've put, well, actually my sister-in-law's done this, a 10 by 10 square in there, but she pointed out the different printers print things differently. So if it's not a 10 by 10 square, you might just have to draw one. It doesn't matter anyway. Like, if you've got a piece of paper, you can do this with me. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and create an optical illusion that makes it look like there's a hole in your table. So whatever you're drawing on, we can try and make it look like there's a hole in your table. The brain ain't got no brains. Yeah, the mosasaurs. I started colouring them in. Funny story though, I didn't have the heart to colour all of them in because then it looked like the dinosaurs were eating the moose. So you'll notice, like, I didn't colour in this dinosaur because I felt sorry for the moose because I thought its nose was being eaten by the dinosaurs, so I could only do some of them. Yeah, it's the life of somebody that feels compassion for inanimate objects. That's me. Okay, so let's have a look. Oh, you can see a hole. You can see a hole. That's cool. Right, let's have a go at creating this this optical illusion then. So you're going to take your piece of paper. You want to go to one of the corners. So go to one of the corners and we're just going to measure along 10 centimetres. So measure down 10 centimetres. Like this. And then measure in from that point 10 centimetres. We can just draw a line. And then do the same from the top. Measure in 10 centimetres. Like this. And join it up to create a square. Okay, so I'm going to go over everything I do in a Sharpie. Don't you do this. Or don't do it yet. Okay, I'll tell you when's a good time to do it. It's so that you can see it on here. All right. So, oh, hi, yes. Oh, I tell you what, those that like the monkey, I am working on something for my next Math Mob memo. I am hoping that there's going to be a way I can gift you all your own little monkey in some format. I'm working on it in the background at the moment. Okay, so I've gone around mine in black. You don't need to do that bit. Okay, I'll tell you when you do need to do that bit. So we've got a 10 by 10 square. Oh, that wasn't very good because I let go of my ruler. And I'm just highlighting going around mine in black. You are welcome if you want to. Oh, no, I won't. Just ignore what I'm saying. Okay, so this is a square. It's 10 centimetres across, 10 centimetres up. And we're going to use this to try and make it look like there is a hole in our table. I'm just going to fold this over because I'm trying to use too much paper. Do it in pencil to start with. And then we're going to use a black pen to go over things. Okay? Right, we want to draw a diagonal line from the top right to the bottom left. Right, so top right to bottom left. Let me just have a look at this. Top right to bottom left. I'm doing it upside down, which is confusing me. So we're going to go from top right to bottom left. We're going to draw a diagonal line in our pencil. So from top right to bottom left. Draw a diagonal line in pencil down there. Okay. This is going to be a key guiding line for all of our drawing here. This is going to be a key guiding line for all of our drawing. So once you've got that, this is going to guide where we draw all the other lines. So we start with a 10 by 10 square. Then we've got this diagonal line going from the top right to the bottom left. And then in this bottom left corner, we're going to draw, how's it going to be a hole? Well, that is a good question. We're going to draw a square in this bottom corner, which we're going to colour in. This is the bit where we're going to start colouring it in with black pen. So I'll show you first. Do it with your pencil first of all. We're going to just go 4 centimetres in here and come up to 4 centimetres up And these lines should meet at our diagonal if we draw our square right. We're creating a 4x4 square just here. If it's not exactly 4x4, that's not the worst thing in the world. We want a square in this bottom, let me remind myself, left-hand corner. This is where you need your black marker or your black pen. We're going to colour that square in. So we're going to colour that bit in. And this is going to be the focal point of our hole. Oh, this is taking longer to colour in than I thought. It gives you some time to do it. So that's a 4x4 square. So it's 4 centimetres up and 4 centimetres across. And we colour that bit in black marker. And hopefully this is going to be, like I say, the deepest part of our hole. I've tried this a few different times in a few different ways. I believe this is the way that worked best. But feel free to do your own research online if you want to like me, go into a bit of a rabbit hole on these, which is what I did a couple of weeks ago, which is how we are here now. Yeah, if you use purple, definitely. Yeah, why don't they teach your videos in kids to school? Oh, that would be nice, wouldn't it? That would be nice. Only if the schools paid me, though. Definitely. They would definitely need to reimburse me for that. I wouldn't want to do their work for them. Yeah, purple should work. A dark colour is ideal. A dark colour. You definitely want to do a dark colour. So we started with our 10 by 10 square. Okay, so I'll just flick this up and talk to you for a second. Right, so we have a square that is about 10 centimetres by 10 centimetres. We did a diagonal from the bottom left to the top right. And in this bottom left-hand corner, we've done a 4x4 square. Now what I'm going to do is little marks every centimetre along this base and up the left-hand side. Okay. So I'm going to go up down along across the base and up the left-hand side. So just marking every centimetre. So I'll line this up. Line this up. We'll start with 0 here. I'm just going to make a mark 1 centimetre, 2 centimetre, 3 centimetre, 4 centimetre, 5 centimetre. Hopefully it should go up to 6. So you end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 marks there. And then we're going to do the same up the side. The same up the side here. And it should be roughly the same. I think I've made my square a little bit small. So mine might not work out exactly. But hopefully it'll be good enough. Okay. So I'm going to highlight my marks. You don't need to do this. I'm doing mine in black just so you can see them. So I've made those marks every centimetre. And what we're going to do is we're going to connect each of these to that diagonal line that we drew. So this diagonal line here, we're going to connect each of these to the diagonal line. So we're going to go vertically up for each of the ones from the bottom, connecting it to our diagonal line like this. So connect each one to our diagonal line. And then we're going to do the same with the ones on the left hand side. Okay, so can you see that? Does that make sense to you? So I did marks every centimetre along here, and then I'm connecting them up to this diagonal line here. Connecting them to the diagonal line. Now I'm going to take the marks that were on the left hand side and I'm going to connect those to the diagonal line. So it should, in theory, create lots of boxes. Yeah, did we see that? I'll show you, see if it makes sense this way. Okay, so we're going to connect these to the diagonal line by doing horizontal lines. Like this. I feel like I shouldn't be quiet, but I'm concentrating really hard here. Can you tell? There we go. Yeah. If you don't have a ruler, you can just sort of, they don't have to be perfect, these, and you could just use something that's really straight and solid. So what do I use quite a lot for straight lines? I'm trying to think. Like the edge of a book, and just make marks that by eye look roughly the same distance apart. That, I mean, it works for me. It works for me. Okay, I'm going to come back. Oh, I was going to... So, I'll leave that. I'm going to put that there. I'm going to give you some time just to finish that bit. Just to finish that bit. And then... Oh, wait a second. Wait. Okay, yeah. No, I'm not. Give me a sec. So, the next bit, which is going to take a little bit of time. So, I'm going to talk to you about a few things whilst you do this, is we're going to colour in every other line. But it's got to be the right ones. So, let me show you. You want to come, this box is coloured in. So you leave the next one blank. And you use your black pen to colour in the next line. And you'll go all the way and all the way along here. Okay? Leave this one blank. Colour in this line here. Leave this one blank. Colour in this line. And colour it in as well as you can. As thoroughly as you can. Okay, so that'll take a little bit of time. So you're just colouring in every other line. So it goes black square, white strip, black strip, white strip, black strip, white strip, black strip. Or purple strip if you're using purple or a different colour. Whilst you're doing that, I've got another cool optical illusion for you to have a look at. It's called the Hermann grid. I created this one actually. The Hermann grid. What's going on here? You might have to look at it for a little bit of time. You might have to stop your colouring for a second to have a little look at it to see what's going on. What is going on there with the Hermann grid? Oh, you could use a Lego brick. Create a Lego ruler. That's a challenge for you. What is going on there? Oh, does it look like steps? Yeah, little dots. You can see like little dots. Yeah, it does look like there's little black dots. Is anyone else seeing that? Or little grey dots in between these? But then there's nothing there. It's all, I promise, I have created this. And the only thing I used to create this was black squares. So it's not mine. This is Hermann's grid. A dude called Hermann came up with the optical illusion. But I created a version of it to show you guys. And this, I only use little black squares. But when you look at it, you can see little grey dots, can't you? As you move your eyes around. Oddly enough, if you stare at one point, so if you stare at this point where my finger is, see if you can see a grey dot there when you're staring at it. And then look away to another point. Because if it's the same as me, when you're staring at it, you can't see a grey dot. And it's only there sort of in the peripheral of your vision. You can't actually see it when you're staring straight at it, which I think is actually fascinating. How are we doing with our colouring in, guys? Mine is going slower. I hadn't actually thought about this bit and how long the colouring in bit would take. How's it going with our colouring in? You see them. And then they disappear, don't they? They're there and they disappear, which is like, our brains are amazing. So optical illusions, they're not solely a trick of the eye. So this one is to do with your eyes and the distances they see, but it's also it involves the brain's interpretation of the visual information, and it's how your brain is interpreting what it sees. Sometimes your brain jumps to a conclusion super quickly, and then you can't make your brain jump back in time and unsee what it saw. So with that one, your brain has sort of seen in the peripheral of your vision these grey dots, even though they're not there. But because your brain's jumped to that conclusion really quickly that they are there, when you look directly at it to check, it's not there. So logically, the grey dots are not there. But you can't make your brain unsee the grey dots. which I think is really fascinating. When they've done studies around optical illusions, they found that cultural factors have a huge influence over how we perceive optical illusions. So how we've been brought up, how our parents have been brought up, the people around us. They serve as really valuable tools for researchers to understand more about visual perception and how our brain works. And it's, and just how society works and influences us as well. Okay, how are we doing with that hole in the table? Your purple's running out. Oh no, I didn't think about that either, about the fact that you'd need a super inky pen for this. Has anyone got a hole in the table yet? Has anyone got to that point? I need to do some serious colouring. It is really cool, isn't it? Really cool. Right, you can have a quick look how mine is going right now. So if I colour in this bit, maybe we can start to see it. I found you can't see it from above. I don't think it looks like a hole in the table when you're looking directly down on it like I'm doing right now. What you have to do is do it from a slight angle. I did trial doing this with different length pieces as well, but I feel like this one worked best, so I'm sticking with this one. Let me quickly see if I can get this bit coloured in, and then what I'll do is I'll move the angle of the camera to see if it looks like there's a hole in the table. Should we have a little look? Okay, I don't know if my black is worth. Oh no, it's just about doing it. Okay, so that might not look like there's a hole in the table, but the idea is that if you take the perspective slightly down, then it can look like there's a hole in the table. What do we reckon? If we change there, like that. Are you seeing that? Are you seeing it? I think it's one of those, it might be one of those things again, that because I've seen it before, because I've done this before, a bit like with the hole in the hand, that I see this really quickly now. What I see is some steps down to a hole in the table. What? It's like my finger's gonna disappear down the hole. Yeah, but some of you are not seeing it, which in itself is fascinating. How our brains can see different things to each other. It's to me, that is absolutely fascinating. Really fascinating. Well, I'll let you practice with your own and see what happens. You see it! You see it! You might have to try it with your own and try different angles as well. Trying different angles really helped, I found, when I was like trying it out. Definitely from above, like if you're looking straight at it, like it's called a plan view when you look at something from above. That doesn't work. You have to come at it from like a bit of an angle and like get quite low down. Okay, I had plans to also show you how to do an impossible fork. But I'm looking at the time thinking, I'm not sure if we're going to manage all that. Do I try and do it or not? Do I try? What do you think? Does anyone want to try the impossible fork? You don't see it? Oh no! Oh, it's gutting for those that don't get to see it. You have to try. You have to keep looking. I had to try a few. I had to try it a few times before I got it. The other thing that can be helpful is to turn it around, because some people are going to see it from a different perspective. Do you want to try the impossible fork? Do you want to try the impossible fork? Right, if you've got the workbook, you've got 6 grey lines to base this on in your workbook. If you haven't, you're going to want a pencil for this. It looks, that's interesting actually. That's interesting. So Kylie's saying it looks like a pyramid. I do think that's true. I think I've seen that before, where it looks like it's coming up out of the paper instead of going down. And again, that will be, once your brain has reached that conclusion, it is almost impossible to go back in time and see it going down into a hole, which is fascinating. Yeah, which is quite cool. Yeah, if you've seen it before, it's easier to see a second time, for sure. Right, I think somebody was like, yeah, go for the impossible fork. Let's go for it. Right, let's give it a go. Let's see if we can manage it. This one, I think, is a little more straightforward. We need 6 lines to start with that are pretty much parallel. I've done this freehand. I was practicing last night, actually, because I just like playing with these things. So it doesn't need to be absolutely perfect, but we need to start off with 6 lines that are about the same length. So I'm going for 8 centimetres. Don't worry if yours isn't the same. If you've not got a ruler, just any straight object will do, okay? So we're doing 6 lines that are roughly the same length and about the same distance apart from each other. Okay, so I'm going to try and keep, let me just go and turn that. Something's just turned itself off on in the background. You can be quiet. Okay, so we're going to try and make it so I retain this same gap all the way down. So I'm going to go, there's 3 lines, 4 lines, 5 lines, 6 lines. And I'm going to do all this in pencil, and then we'll go over key bits in black, in like a black pen. Okay. So I've got 6 lines that are all the same length. It doesn't matter what length. I did 8 centimeters. You can do any length. And if you've done 7, just like rub one of them out. And on the far right hand, I'm going to do the right hand side. You can do it the other way around, but I'm going to stick with the right hand side. You draw a circle in between the top 2 lines. Well, it's like a bit of a squashed circle. Then you miss a gap and do the same again, like a squashed circle. And then you miss a gap and do another squashed circle. Okay, can you see that? Like the ends of a fork, but it's not a very pointy fork. It's sort of like a dulled flat fork. So a sort of squashed circle in between the top 2 lines, leave a gap, squash circle in between the second 2 lines, leave a gap, squash circle in between the bottom 2 lines. Okay, so I'm going to give you a second to do that, because then the next bit I need to be really, really careful with how I describe it. Okay, so we've got 6 lines, 3 squashed circles. The next bit, we're going to go to the left hand side. We're going to join the top line to the 5th line. So we're drawing a line that connects all of these ones together, but not all the way to the bottom. You go from the top line to the 5th line. Can you see that? I didn't join it to the bottom one. Just from the top line to the 5th line. Yeah, a bit like some creepy fingers. Creepy fingers. Don't colour them, no. That is one thing that's difficult about these, is if you colour in these impossible shapes, you actually ruin the illusion a lot of the time. There is only some really specific bits you could colour in here. The bit you can colour in is the ends. Anything else, I think if you colour it on this one, it does ruin the illusion. Good question. Very good question. And then, once you've gone from the top to the 5th line, we're going to draw a little diagonal from the 5th line to the 6th, coming in a little bit. So we're drawing a diagonal line there, and we can rub this extra bit out if you can. If you can't, don't worry, we'll just go over with black to highlight it. So from the 5th line to the 6th line, you draw a diagonal coming down. So it's trying to make it look 3D. We're trying to make it look 3-dimensional. Oh, sorry about that. Is the camera back again? So I went from, it's because I'm putting my hand in, so my camera will focus on my hand, and then it needs to refocus onto the page. So that's, sometimes I tap the page to make it do that, to make it focus on that bit. So there was, yeah, hopefully you've done that diagonal bit now. Now we go back to the top, come in a little bit. So come slightly to the right, and then jump down to the 2nd line. So we're going to the 2nd line and in a little bit. We're going to join that 2nd line to the 4th line. So we're going to go 3rd, 4th. And I'm going to do it with a ruler. If you want to do it freehand, you can do. So we're going to go like this. So 2nd line, we come in a little bit and then join it straight down to the 4th line. Sort of keeping parallel with this original edge here. And then once you've done that, so the line, 2nd line, come in a little bit, join it to the 4th line. We actually are going to rub out these bits that connect the very far left hand bit to that line we've just drawn. But again, if you can't rub anything out, don't worry. We'll just highlight the bits we want in black pen at the end. Okay, then we're going, so I put a little dot here. So this is the second line. This is now the starting point of our second line. We're going to draw a diagonal just like we did before down here, but we're connecting the second and the third line this time. So I should have done that with a ruler really, but I've not done. So we're drawing a diagonal connecting the second to the third line. And once you've done that, you connect the third line to the fourth line, but this time going straight down, so vertically. Okay, so I'll just go through that bit again. We come on to this second line right in the corner here. We do a diagonal down to the third line, and then a vertical line down to the fourth line here. And we're going to rub out this little horizontal line in the middle there. About that little horizontal line in the middle. And then once you've got that, you've got all the bits for your fork. And if we go over it in black pen, I think it makes it stand out quite nicely. I find this quite hard to do on camera, so I'm going to bring this up here. You go over all those lines in black pen, the ones that we didn't need to rub out, and you end up with this really cool shape that looks like it should be a three-dimensional fork. It looks like it should be a three-dimensional fork, but when you look closely, it isn't. Your brain wants it to be, but it's not. Can you see? Right, let's have a look. If I hold that up, can you see that? So I've just gone over everything in black on there. Can you see that? You've seen this one before? Yeah, it's a cool one, isn't it? I really, really love this one. I love playing around. You can turn it to all sorts of different things. You can turn it into pipe systems that are impossible. It's like the starting point of loads of impossible shapes. And if you colour these bits in, that can highlight it. But if you try to colour any other bit in, well, try it. Try colouring other bits in and see what happens. I think that's quite cool. Sorry if that one was a little bit quick there. Hopefully you got your hole in the table at least. That one, I did feel like I rushed through that one a little bit. But I was keen to give it a go. So if you've not been here before, these lessons are absolutely free. I'm a home educating mum. I've taught maths for 15 years now. I was head of a maths department, which I stopped to home educate my kids. And I want to bring my maths skills to you, but in a way that I feel is really, really in line with enjoying maths and building real life maths skills. The lessons are free, and how I make money, just like with Lara from Theatre of Science, is that people can sign up for a hopefully low cost monthly membership. For £5 a month, I will send you my Maths Mob memo through the post. So there's this one, which is my original one on fractals, really cool area of maths. It's exploring lots of hands-on ways to explore fractals. There's games in there, there's construction activities, engineering activities, and I have started work on my next one, which is all about weather. That comes through the post with some origami paper and some really funky stickers. If you're doing for £6 a month, I also do printable, downloadable workbooks, which you can and can't use for you can use for the lesson, but you don't need for the lesson. What's really cool is my sister-in-law adds some really awesome bits at the end to explore at home, and there's links of things online to explore and different ideas and activities. And during Maths in Art Month, there is always an artist to go away and explore as well. And you can find, there's like a blue button at the top of my page where you can find the link to joining either of those. There's the triangles or the squares. Otherwise, I'm not live next week. I need to remind you of that. I'm not live. I am away and I can't guarantee the Wi-Fi is going to work. So I decided I've recorded something for you guys that I'm going to pop on YouTube, and it'll be there at the start of the week. So you can dive into it whenever you like. So if you like doing this at 9 o'clock every Tuesday. You can use it at 9 o'clock on Tuesday. If not, I will see you in 2 weeks live for... I can't remember what form of art we're doing in 2 weeks. It's gone from my brain for now, but it'll be exciting. It'll be exciting for me too to discover it then. Or you can stick around, because in 5 minutes I'm going to be starting my functional skills GCSE maths lesson, where we're looking at order of operations. And you can, of course, do this lesson again on Friday over on YouTube. I'll be doing this again then too. Why are you in a cave? Oh, thank you so much for joining me, guys. I will see you very, very soon. Bye for now.